Okay, in this tutorial, we'll just take a look at how you might add, say, a skeleton to some odd-shaped object, like this turquoise object right here. And I've added this little purple rib skeleton. It's just kind of laying on the outside, but I could just scale it down just a little bit. But what I really wanted to be able to do is to be able to follow the contour as well, which it does, well, quite precisely right there. And I'll show you what I do to do it. It's easy to do. So maybe you've seen it. I have one other lesson where you follow a path with a curve. So what I'm going to do is I'll select this object, and then I'll go into edit mode, and then I just want to grab, say, portions of it. I could actually just grab the whole, we could do the whole thing. I could press, let me see, I have edge select, so I could press Alt and then grab this loop all the way around. This is just a regular cube with a multi-resolution modifier applied to it. Alright, so I have that there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a copy of that edge loop all the way around. I'll just press Shift D and then I'll left click, and there's a copy right in place. And now with the copy in place, now I'll press P and I'll separate that from the selection right there. So it disappears because it's not part of this object anymore. So if I leave this, you can see there's that extra little line that runs in there. So if I just go right click that line, I think I have it, and if I just move it here, there it is. I have that section that goes all the way around like that. That's perfectly aligned with that. Would work with anything with an edge loop, and that's why I like to use edge loops a lot. So I'm going to escape that so it still sits on that location. And then to make, what's nice about this approach is now you can take this, and this is an object. It's called cube.002, and I don't know, we'll call it something else. We'll just call it rib, like that. And from there, it's an object. You can tell because it has this upside down triangle here. Well, first thing I want to do is I want to convert that to a curve. So I'm going to go up into the object menu up here, convert to curve from the mesh. Alright, so now it's a curve. Even though it says object, you know it is because it has this little curve here instead of the upside down triangle. So I'm going to click that, and here's the parameters that I can change within here. But so now I want to use something for defining the shape of it. In this case, I was using just a circle to define it. But that's the nice thing about it. You could define maybe like a a bone looking shape or something if you want. Well, maybe we'll do that. I'll just come down here and I'll press Shift A and I'll add a curve. Let's just use a curve path. I used a curved circle on this one. Alright, actually there's a trick you can do with the circles and I forget what it is, but we'll just edit this thing instead. I'm going to press DEL and zoom in on this a little bit, and I'm just going to grab these endpoints and I'll press G Shift Z. I barely might have I have proportional editing turned on, so I can press O, turn that off. Alright, so there we go. I knew something was goofing up. Alright, so there's that. I'll move this over here. I'm just going to kind of make a generic shape. And I'll move that in here. Kind of just like that. That'll be my shape. I'll leave edit mode. And then I'm going to see my geometry's moved over here to the side. So I'm going to press transform origin to the geometry. There it is in the center. Then I'm going to scale it. S Shift Z. I'm just going to scale it down so it's a little small piece like that. Maybe even smaller. Alright, and the name of that is, it's called NURBS path. Right? So we'll call that. So then what you do, you come back up to this curve. And then you come over here to your curve button that we had in here. You come down here to the bevel object location and you grab that NURBS path. And what that does is that wraps it around that entire curve like that. If we go look in close, you can see, in fact I'll press DEL again, that way I'm rotating around it. There's the shape of that path, of that curve down there, all the way around. And the nice thing about that is you can just come into here and go into edit mode. Let me see if I can see both. Move this up. Maybe we can get it and see both at the same time. Just move this way close. Alright, so I can go into edit mode from here and just grab that point, and by moving it you can see it's modifying it on there at the same time. So it gives you a lot of flexibility as far as the design of your rib. And then the last thing you have to do, so maybe that's my rib, of course, and then I could just scale that down to make it match on the inside, or I could scale this up. But it kind of gives you the curve contour for starters. And then the last thing you want to do with this is you want to go back and convert this, because that's a curve now, and you want to convert that back. Convert. Oh my goodness. Convert to mesh, Alt-C, like that. So now it's a mesh, and you can do whatever you want with it. All right. Well, so that kind of gives you an idea. So then you could, put a skeleton on a dog or something like that. And okay. Well, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next lesson.